Hello, everybody. Today is November 13th, 2025. We are back to do a video of Dad's lifetime of stories. Please subscribe if you've not done that and like and share the video. I thought I'd ask you a question about friends in school when you went to school.
Yeah.
Did you have a best friend, somebody that you would call a best friend?
Oh, yeah. Over the years, from the time I was probably ninth grade, I guess, on through ninth, 10th, 11th, and the 12th, uh, you'd always run around with somebody. And I had best friends that I'd go home with, and most time they'd end up going home with me uh, for just problems they had getting home themselves. I know uh, my older brother always had the pickup truck, which had his date out in it, and I always had a ride home because, which was probably 4.5, 5 miles from Mark Tree, uh, is where I had to go to. But yeah, I had a guy by the name of J.C. Kelly was one of the guys. Uh, he was the best friend I guess I had for a long, long time. I understand he's dead now. He's already died. He was down in Texas, I believe. He had a son down there, somewhere around Dallas, Fort Worth, somewhere in that area. But he was a good friend. And I had a guy by the name of Buster Smith. We used to double date together. I think I mentioned that one time. He had an old Studebaker car that he and his family had, but that's what he would take mostly would be his Studebaker car. Uh, Buster and another boy by the name of Donald Ray Smith, who would run halfback. I'll run one side, left halfback, he run right halfback off of a T formation. And but I guess JC was one of the main characters, I guess.
What did you do? I mean, when you were around your house, what did y'all do for entertainment or fun?
Well, all the thing I can remember about JC, one time he forgot his basketball uniform, and he asked me to play hooky with him, and so the hitchhike hit the house. It's worse to get to than what mine was. But anyway, I said, "Yeah, I'll go with you." And by the time we'll go across the river bridge, and I may have told this, Mark, I'm not sure. As we went across the river bridge, we were walking, and and lo and behold, our one of our teachers came across the bridge, coming back into school. We was on the way out of town, and we saw him, and we said to each other, said, "Well, he's done seen us, so we just have to go ahead and do what we was going to do." So we finally got out to his house and got his trunks and his uniform and came back into town. It's easy to get if anybody ever come by you, they stop and get you because it's a type area. It was a highway 14 led from Mark Tree to Parkin to Earl down south there.
But you recall what they did for discipline against y'all?
Yeah, I remember the coach gave us 2 licks each.
Yeah.
gave us, but they were two good licks, is what they was. But it wasn't nothing to it. And then whenever we got uh, into our class that this teacher had seen us going across, he asked us had we had enough. And I'd already told JC, I said, he's not going to whip me again, that's for sure. And lo and behold, I told him I done had enough. So I was hoping that would be the end gate of it, and it was. I just, because he ought to known better than trying to whoop us twice for the same, for a little or nothing going on, but it was skipping his class is what he didn't like.
So you had a pretty justifiable reason in y'all's mind to go get that uniform.
Oh yes, yes, it was a real serious thing.
Did that teacher was hard on you anymore the rest of the?
No.
It just kind of went by.
Yeah. It just.
Well, I was wondering, when you were in school, did you take classes like shop classes and things like that? Did they have shop classes or anything other than like a regular everyday class everybody goes to?
Yeah, it was. They call it FFA, Future Farmers of America, and they had FFA, and then they had the women's same woman class for the girls to take. And of course, we had a man teacher that's all he did was teach FFA classes. And in those classes, I've got a lamp now that you know the one I'm talking about that I built, and you can't tear it up. It's just
out of wood. It's solid.
Yeah, well, it's out of.
If it broke in, you could beat them off.
Yeah, if you pick the thing up because it's heavy and it's got a good base to it.
Right.
And I took that base and whittled the center out or a square of what my shaft was. It goes up, it holds the bulb up here. But I had help on cutting it, how to cut it, and then he also helped me on whenever I put it all together and putted it in at the base where it needed to be and where it was set even. But that was one of the prize of my FFA ventures, I guess.
How long did it take to do that? Was that a week long?
Oh, that was
a month long.
Well, see, you just had a class of that.
Yeah.
Period during the day, and I always look forward to that particular day because he wasn't only working with me. He was working with all the other boys that had a particular project that they had and was trying to build also. So it probably lasted probably 6 months anyway, I guess. And only thing I remember is what I was building. I don't remember what any of the other guys were building at all.
Right.
I just don't remember. I was too interested in what project I was doing.
Since you mentioned FFA, the Future Farmers of America, I guess you had county fairs, state fairs.
Oh yeah.
Did any of that go along with your FFA? Did you have cattle or anything? I mean, I remember in the past, and I'm sure they still do it, you had the prize cow, the pig, or whatever, you took it and you raised it from, as a young animal all the way up to show quality. Did you ever do anything like that?
Well, sometimes at the FFA would be involved in the county fair, and we would take her prize over there and and see what it would bring, which I did, and it didn't bring nothing. Is what it brought.
You mean your lamp?
My lamp that I took over. Best I can recall, I thought at one time that it had brought third prize or something other because I've got I've got one of those ribbons somewhere, maybe yeah. But I did get a prize for something other than may have been for hugging the girl. I don't know.
Did you ever show cattle or anything like that?
Oh no, we never did have any pigs or chickens or nothing like that. No, we didn't. We lived out on a farm where we could, but we just didn't. We had a cow is what we had.
What did you? What did they do? Did they have like they do these days with the fair? Was there things associated with it that you could do? Like, was there rides or was it just places you went?
Oh,
like
it's just
food stands?
well, it was a carnival, a
Right.
big carnival. Actually, is what it was. A county fair, is what it was.
Just like it would be today, but the rides were probably
yeah.
different.
Well, it was in Harrisburg. Is where that was the county seat, and that's where the fair was. It was always interesting. The only problem was most of the guys, just like I was, didn't have money to do anything with. We just didn't just walked around and looked just about it.
Right.
And I remember I had one half-ass naked girl. She was running. She was contending for something or another. And if you wanted to, you could go up hug her, and I did. And boy, what a surprise I got. But some of the guys that may be listening to this, they may relate to the county fair in Harrisburg, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. Because,
well, did you, was the county fair and everything a week-long event or was it just a weekend?
it was usually for a week. You know, started on a Monday and run all the way through to Saturday night and for the week.
You've mentioned about going out and what you did as far as you would go to the place and get a hamburger and you'd go to the movie theater. And were there any other places or things that you did when, as like with your friends or when you went out on a date, other than the movie theater that you recall? Were there things to do other than the hamburger place and or was it just such a small town that was the highlight?
Well, that was the highlight of the county fair. You know, they just have them all the time, every year at that particular time of the season. But I don't remember anything else that was taking place besides something like that.
Did y'all ever have anybody come through on some kind of traveling circus? Did they ever do those?
Well, there'd be a carnival come through there probably once a year at least. And then they had a roller rink that came in behind that, a big roller rink where we could go. Well, it's kind of like a basketball court or something like that is what it would be, where you could, you know, learn how to skate and walk around, you know.
So they came into the town and set this up?
Yeah.
And
they always had a
period of time you paid to kind of like the now, well, I guess they still exist. Where back in the days in the 70s and 80s and 90s, there was the skate with your friends or whatever, meet the little girl there, and
Oh yeah,
it's so flat like a basketball court.
yeah, yeah.
Back when you let your kids just off at the front door and I'll see you at 10 o'clock and come back at 10 o'clock, there they were. Um, um, you mentioned your best friends and everything. One time you told me a story, and I don't remember the vague details, but you had a friend, a good friend, that you said had purchased, or his daddy had bought him a new car. And I don't know if it was new as in new car, new, or new as in like it would be for me if I got a new 2020, that'd be a new car for me. But you said he got this car and he had a wreck.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you recall the story of what was happening in the car and his name?
Well, he come from a well-to-do family. His name was Gary Prince, is who it was, and it was on a Thursday or Friday that he brought his car to school, and he'd already asked a couple of the boys to ride with him, and one of them was a grade above him, and one was in his same class. His name was Gary Prince, and the two boys that played hooky that day uh, was Donald Ray Smith, and I think he's dead. Donald Ray Smith and Lavelle Terrell was the two boys that played hooky, and of course he'd asked them to do that, and they were playing hooky to go to another town, to Truman, Arkansas, which was probably 12, 13 miles up the road and towards Jonesboro is where it was located. And I just wasn't in the of just taking out off or something like that, playing hooky, unless I had another good reason to do it. You got to have a good reason, but he was going up there. He had some little girl that he was going to go see, and hoping he could find somebody else for the other two boys that went with him. But I just happened not to be with him the day that he went up there, and I know they got up there and they stayed, and I guess they visited with the girls or whatever, and may have couldn't because school was going on at the time, But on their way back, I believe, I don't remember whether it was going up there or coming back from Truman, that they had the wreck, and what it was. When he had the wreck, he tried to miss his farm truck because he was going real fast, I think. And the truck was just going around me. He couldn't. He tried to miss the truck with the other person in the lane too, and he got off on the shoulder, and he never did pull it back up there, and it got to rolling on him, I guess, and it threw him out and tore him up pretty good. But the other two boys wasn't hurt hardly at all. They stayed in the vehicle. He just stayed there. But he was one of my better friends now, really. I'd forgot about him because he was from he had a brother that was older than what he was, but they were always classy and just a little more uptown. In fact, they own a furniture store is what they own there. His dad did.
Money than that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the car that they were in?
I think it was it was either a Chevrolet or a Oldsmobile, a two-door hardtop, I believe is what it was.
Got a lot of power in a car like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Didn't they?
had a lot of power in it. I don't remember what it was that it had in it. Whether it had a V8, I think it did, because most vehicles were V8s back then. But
And of course, they
he
didn't have seatbelts back in.
no
When did
seat
you-
belts.
when- I don't think seatbelts when they come out, 60s or 70s maybe. And that would have been the 50. What year would that have been?
Well, that'd have been about 53 or 54
Yeah,
is when that would have
15,
been.
20 years before we had seatbelts.
Yeah.
Mandatory seatbelts.
Yeah.
Well, I guess since we're on the subject, was there anybody else that you remember in school or your senior year who passed away of an accident or a strange event or anything like that? No, it's a question you might not sit around and think about. People don't really sit around and think about morbid thoughts all the time. Normal people.
Well, the only one that I can recall is Gary.
Right,
It had a big impact on me because we were close.
right.
But he's, and I told about the man that his house caught on fire and he came into town in the night.
Burning.
Yeah.
Um,
And the airplane that crashed. I think it's.
right.
I told about
the
it. Yeah.
airplane and the two people in the.
Yeah, in the cockpit.
Just hard to stomach looking at them. I got your shotgun. You gave me your shotgun, your 12 gauge Browning, Belgian Browning.
Yeah.
And with an unprofessional show that we have, I just blurt things out. But if you know me personally, I do that in person too. Whatever hits me in the head, it comes out. Regarding your shotgun that you gave me, you weren't big into deer hunting. You duck hunted, right?
Right. Right.
Do you remember when you got that gun? I mean, were you in high school, or?
No, I done got out and got married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did you have? Did you go with your brothers duck hunting, or did you have certain friends in a certain place y'all went? Or?
Well, tried to go with somebody, but even tried to get my dad to go.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't into going to the. He could take off about any time he wanted to.
Cold, wet.
Well, it was just hard to do that. It was a difficult job to go duck hunting if you didn't have a. See, I didn't have a boat unless my dad just happened to have one up there that somebody had parked at his.
What'd you do? Just put waders on and.
No.
Get in a blind.
I'd get in a boat and go to a blind.
Yeah.
Where it was deep water. I mean, it wasn't deep, but it's where the main be 100 foot across it, I guess, or something like that, and probably more in place. And they was.
Collect your ducks as you shot them. Do you have a dog or how do you get them?
No, we'd when you kill a duck, you'd go get him most of the time because he'd float off.
Right.
Is what would happen. But they was about a mile up the river from where we put in at across the levee there by the locks is where we usually kept a boat parked. Probably out on that point out there, right straight in front of the locks, is where we'd have a boat parked, and of course it had a motor on it. And but about a mile or so up in the lakes, it would begin to clear out, and all you'd have just old uh, uh, trees that had no limbs on them or leaves or anything on them. They'd just be sticking up out there. But you could usually camouflage yourself and call ducks in out there because they'd be coming in from the north usually, and they'd be ready to sit down at that particular location because they just remember where it is, and they would say that was a kind of a rest area besides the one over at Harrisburg called Claypool. That was rest area for the ducks, and that's where all the ducks was really going to, because I mean there'd be thousands of ducks over there at Claypool, because they knew could no hunters hunt in there, and it was just a good place to go.
Did you, other than duck hunting, did you deer hunt? Did you?
Hardly ever.
Because you were spending too much time fishing.
Only time I went deer hunting was right after I married, and got in trouble killing the guy. I didn't kill him. I just shot him. I thought it was a rabbit, because it was really rabbit hunting is what we was doing. We wasn't deer hunting, but this guy had his beagle out there, and all I saw was the rear end of whatever it was, and it just happened to be his dog.
Oh
no! And I shot him in the rear end, but I see Leck was with me. Or I was with
Mom's sister's husband.
Right.
Lester Rowland.
Lester Rowland. But he was
Uncle Lex drinking a little bit, smoking tomahawks and laughing about it.
Well, that'd been him, that guy.
Oh, he knew him?
Well, it was his brother-in-law, is what it was.
Family, huh?
Yeah. But well, he didn't. You couldn't tell he was shot, but he kept whining around. But we looked him over pretty good. Leck or because there's about 5 or 6 men and 2 or 3 guys like me just out there, doing the best I could and hunting and whatever. But I'm trying to think of the name of the guy's dog. Bruce. Roger Bruce's dad. It was his dog.
Yeah.
And but Leck got the dog and got to looking at him and said, well, Travis Bruce, that's who it was. Travis Bruce, it was his dog. And because he was threatening to shoot me.
Really?
Yeah, he was threatening to shoot me over shooting his dog. And Leck kept telling Travis, don't be that way. Ain't no use acting that way.
What were you actually shooting at? You thought it was a rabbit?
Yeah.
So it was not a heavy load what you were using. It wasn't like double up buck.
Oh, no.
It was a lighter bird load.
Right. It was
still wouldn't want to get shot with it.
I know.
Even if from a distance.
But that guy kept saying, I'm going to shoot him. And he was saying some choice words, that little son of a buck, shooting my dog. And Lex said, well, we can still take him into town and let the doctor said, let's go on and do that. So finally they worked out a plan to take him on back in and take him home and take him to the doctor, is what they did. And I didn't want no more of Travis Bruce for a long time. I don't think he went hunting for a while for the rest of that year, unless it was another direction that I went.
Yeah.
But Leck was always prone to get in trouble. He got caught for duck hunting, shooting ducks too early.
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
3.
I know all I had to do is go out there, and if I was by myself, I shouldn't be shooting anybody else's dog. Maybe they may be a stray or something out there. But Lek was shooting some ducks over on a particular area around what's the name of that place? It said Harrisburg, not Claypool, but there was a place to shoot rabbits and shoot ducks as they come in to roost, and I think he'd either shot too early before the sun come up or something or another, and there was a game warden out there, and he didn't know it and I didn't know it, but when Lex started shooting, well, it was too early, and you could see the fire come out of the end of his gun. He was over probably, I don't know, 300 or 400, 500 yards from me, and he was by himself, and I had somebody else with me. I don't remember who it was. Probably another guy like myself. Didn't know much about that kind of duck hunting, but hearing him and that game warden come out through there, and he says, "Boys, I done got caught. You know, I done."
They take his gun
I don't think they did. I think they just fined him is what they did. But it teaches you a lesson about shooting too quick or shooting too late, and I think it was shooting too early. Yeah, and they just everybody tries to get a leg up on whatever they're doing, and maybe they can kill one this way. Then they usually can when they shouldn't be shooting. But the crazy ducks, they come flying in there, man. They just flying everywhere, man. You start, well, I'm gonna take a chance on nobody being out here. And sure enough, I know of all the hunting and fishing I did when I was growing up, I know I never did get caught doing anything, and maybe some things I didn't do legally. But I, some way or another, I managed to get around it. Yeah.
Well, we reached a point to stop, and actually we're going to do something we don't normally do. We're going to stop for a while. It's actually in the morning right now,
Yeah.
and here in a little while we're going to shoot another video and try to start catching up on all the ones we missed. But one thing I want to say before we sign off is you may have been hearing me in the background and white noise and me trying to not clear my throat, take a drink, and all that. So if you are hearing that, I apologize. I was trying to do everything I could do so you wouldn't have to listen to those things. But we will be back soon, and please again, share, like, and subscribe. Till next time, Dad. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care, y'all.